This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RoadPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange Store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Good morning, Bronco Nation. How we doing? Happy Tuesday to you here at Bronco Nation News at BroncoNationNews.com. My name is BJ Rains, and we switched up the days a little bit, but here on a Tuesday, we got our man Brad Bedell, former offensive line coach here at Boise State, Auburn, number of places, former NFL lineman, kind enough on a Tuesday morning here to join us as we talk a variety of topics, Boise State football on a Tuesday. A little tired today, stayed up for that baseball game last night. I know you were the smart one, Brad, that said you fell asleep in the 14th inning, but 18 innings for a World Series game. That was pretty crazy last night.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the replay this morning. I wanted to watch it. It just wasn't in the cards.
Yep.
What a great game.
My wife and kid went to bed in like the 13th, 14th inning about then. And yeah, they got to wake up and see the highlights. And you had starting pitchers that pitched over 100 pitches 2 days ago, warming up in the bullpen to come in if the game had gone any longer. And it was just a one of those insane games. And I'll tell you what, Brad, as someone that's a Cardinals fan, and I've had a lot of, not 18 innings like that, but my team, growing up, spending the playoffs a lot, it's much more fun to watch a playoff game when you don't really care who wins, because you can watch either team and you just want the game to keep going longer. And if I was a diehard Dodger fan or Blue Jay fan, I can't imagine what that was like, 6 hours of that last night. But crazy game. And I'm trying to think what the longest like NFL playoff game would have been, because of the way they have the rules and stuff, you probably don't get too many that go past the first overtime.
Not anymore, especially since you remember NFL can end a tie.
Well, not in the playoffs, I was saying. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Regular season, 10 minutes and you're tied. What was that, Donovan McNabb or some of those guys don't even know the rules sometimes? And
no doubt. I mean, that happened this year in a college game. The coach is like, "No, I want to go for one." It's like, no.
Oh, yeah, you can't. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, and now they just do the 2-point conversions or whatever once you get to the third overtime, because you had the game last year, I think, make it like 7 or 8 overtimes. Yeah, that was a heck of a game. Congrats to all the Dodgers. I know we got a lot of Dodger fans that watch the show. Congrats. That was a heck of a game, heck of a win. And Shohei Ohtani gets on base 9 times in that game.
Well, hold on now. 4 for 4, 2 home runs,
yep.
But they intentionally walked him out as starting his 5th at bat.
So
I would too.
He still got on base 9 times.
Yeah. Well, I bet you they were happy about that when he got picked off at second, but he's pitching tonight. So please.
Yeah, he was doing his post-game interview
and just rest him. Intentionally walk him.
He was doing his post-game interview, and he's like, respectfully, they're like, "How you feeling about tomorrow?" He's like, "Respectfully, I want this interview to end as soon as possible so I can go to sleep."
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting. I mean, now tonight's game's a game of attrition. I mean, the Blue Jays wiped out almost their entire
both teams
reserve.
did. Yeah.
I mean, it's like pitching. Kershaw coming in with bases loading. I mean, when was the last time Kershaw came? I mean, he's a starter.
Yeah.
And how long did it take him to warm up?
Yeah, and I don't know why they only let him pace the one batter. He should have kept going. And I don't know if you can compare this to anything, Brad. I mean, you're one of the few people on this chat that, played in a professional sports league. But if you're the Blue Jays, I mean, that's just got to be gutting to play 18 innings and lose the game and now be down 2-1 in the series here. Yeah,
I would assume it is. I mean, that's the difference. Every sport I did, when we lost in the playoffs, it's pack your stuff. You're going home for the offseason.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I think that's what I think where managers kind of, and especially in Major League Baseball, the way they can rebound teams coming off of a loss to play the next night in the World Series. That's where I think that the good managers can flush it. Good players, good leadership.
On paper, you would say, "Oh, the Blue Jays have no chance now. They're done. They're down 2-1. Ohtani's pitching, like they're done." But then, I mean, that's the perfect time where maybe the Blue Jays do rally. Who knows? But
no doubt,
great game, fun to watch. Fun game, great to watch, and but I am struggling by making the decision to stay up. If anyone else did, struggling a little bit this morning, but we got a lot to discuss. Brad, we had a quarterback decommitting yesterday for Boise State. That's the 4th of their last 5 quarterback commits who have ended up decommitting. They're on a bad run here of they do the homework for these schools and find quarterbacks, and then they decommit and go elsewhere. They had one go to Georgia, one go to Oregon, and now Traden Bessinger went to visit Iowa over the weekend, and then decommits, and we'll talk about that. But I wanted to start with the Chris Marshall situation, leading receiver for Boise State, suspended for 1 game. I mean, they never used that word, but that's what it was. I mean, he's not with the team this week. He is suspended for disciplinary issues, and he's obviously a guy that has had some issues, previous stops, Texas A&M and Ole Miss, and heck of a talent when he can stay out on the field. But something happened, it sounds like, with the coaches on the sidelines or his frustration about something. We don't know all the details yet, but leading the team with 467 receiving yards, second on the team with 24 catches. Something happened in that Nevada game, and now he will not be a part of the game on Saturday. From what you've read and seen and heard about this, what's your take, Brad?
Well, I don't. Well, first of all, I don't have any knowledge of what went on, and I'm not. What I won't do is talk about what possibly went on. I think Spencer made the statement, and he's going to move on with that statement. Now, the way the statement came out is there's a standard, and
I got the clip we can play here momentarily too.
Okay, he didn't meet Chris didn't meet that standard, and Spencer made the decision to do what was best for this week. And it, like, not being there is something where you don't let some things pass. And there is a line, and when you cross the line, there has to be a swift judgment and say, hey, you're done for this week. Okay, I've been a part of a lot of people. I was at Baylor when a couple guys were suspended that we really need them to play the game, but that was the decision that the head coach made, and you have to live that decision. Now, for this all to go back is kind of funny, right? So now we had a personal foul in the South Florida game, and people were pissed that Spencer didn't suspend him or he played the next series, right? Well, let's fast forward, and now everybody wanted accountability then. And then now here's the accountability. Well, what are we doing? This is a pivotal time in our season. Like, what are we doing? Okay, let's not just not have a culture and just let's play the kids that can help us win. And that will hurt you in the locker room in the long term than it is right now.
And I would say it's a very small minority. I mean,
Oh,
most
it
of
is.
the
You're
people
right.
are,
No.
but
You're
the
100%
fact
right.
that there's anybody, it's like, I saw multiple people that actually did, a team's fighting for their lives for a playoff spot. And you're going to, that sure is something to bench your top receiver at this point in the season. Like,
stupid.
I went back, Brad, and tried to watch the game again out yesterday. Whenever Boise State had the ball, there was a play early in the third quarter where he dropped the ball. It was the throw wasn't perfect, but he definitely could have caught it. He dropped the ball. It was a clear drop. He was frustrated. The very next play was a run by Madsen when I think he may have been open. They didn't pass him the ball. And then you see him kind of shrug his shoulders and walk off. And he was not seen from again the rest of the game. I tried to find him on the sidelines. I don't know what happened there. Like I said, you don't have to speculate, but I'm just throwing out possibility. I mean, he said the standard of how you interact with your players and coaches, and we'll play the bite here in a second, but that to me is there's some sort of blow up on the sidelines, or maybe he left the field early to go to the locker room. Like, something must have happened, because even though he said, I'm not going to take questions about it, a little later in the press conference, I did just say simply, hey, was him not playing much in the second half related to all this? And he just said, yep. And so something happened on the field or in the game. And he is a very, I think passionate's the right word, Brad, but we've seen him at times put his hands up, when he didn't get the ball or whatever. But in that game, Brad, he had multiple drops. He had at least 2 drops, maybe 3. Also on the interception that Maddox Madsen threw, if you go back and watch the play, the throw was behind him, but there was no attempt. I mean, 0 attempt for Chris Marshall to knock that ball away, to try to go back and make a catch. He kind of just ran, watch the ball go by and watch it get intercepted. And so I thought that part was very odd that he didn't at least try to stop and knock it away, or even if he couldn't catch it, make some attempt to keep the defender from intercepting the ball. I guess what I'm saying is he was certainly at fault for part of whatever happened with the drops. And I didn't think he gave a great effort on that play personally. Maybe you saw it differently. And then something happened later in the game. Frustrations boiled over, and now he's out this week.
Right. And the one thing about a coach, right? You try to lead, and you can't ultimately control their attitude and their effort, right? You can't. You can force it upon them. You can preach about it. What you can't control is if you're going to step on the field or not. And as a coach, you control that. And if there is a situation that he crossed a line that they set, right? I mean, he didn't just make this up. I mean, Spencer just go, hey, I don't like the way you talk to him, you're gone. So I think that's where it's your job as a coach to set an example. And I don't care when it is in the season. I really don't. I don't, because at the end of the day, you come in, you beat Fresno, right? Which you can go over that later. But and then he's back. And then once you're back, it's washed. Okay. It happened. It's over. Okay. Let's go on, get better, and things like that. That's where I want to see we've talked about the growth and the maturity of the young man. And so now are we going to see that maturity, understanding like, hey, the coach has made the decision. I was also in the wrong, whatever happened. We're moving on. And now I'm going to go have a 200-yard receiving game because I have grown as an individual being a part of this culture. You're about to see that. I don't know. That's the future. But I think you as a coach control who goes onto the field. And if a player has crossed the line in front of the whole team and you don't address that, You can lose a locker room because one incident goes to 2, goes to 3, goes to 4, goes to 5. You've lost everything. And it's a decision that has to be made swiftly.
Yeah, and that's part of, I was trying to find one of the tweets on here that somebody sent to me. Somebody said, here's hoping coaches don't just treat this as a one-way discipline issue. Take to heart whatever Marshall's frustrations are. Several players on offense visibly frustrated the other night, not just Marshall. And as somebody says here, Skyship says, Brad, whatever was said or done was way beyond throw me the dang ball to get suspended, folks, or him putting his hands up. Again, something must have happened. And let's hear, before we discuss this any further, let's hear what Spencer Danielson actually said when he announced the suspension yesterday.
Marshall will not be a part of the team this week. Love Chris. He is a huge part of this team, but he's not going to be a part of this week. The standards that we have here and how you act and how you interact with coaches and players matters. And I hope that he uses this time to learn and grow from. I love Chris. He is a huge part of this team. And I hope that he uses this time to learn and grow. And when he does come back next Monday and is a part of this team, that he will be even better for it, because we love Chris and he is a huge part of this. Not going to answer any more questions on that. Just want to make sure you guys are aware of it.
In the second half, Chris didn't play very much. Was that related to whatever's going on? Or?
All right, so he did confirm whatever happened in the second half was related. Didn't want to elaborate on it. What the fact that he's not even practicing or around the team, is that pretty standard for someone that gets, I don't know, disciplinary suspension? But I mean, he said when he's back around the team next Monday, that to me was a little interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that whatever happened, he deemed suspension away from the building. I mean, it's that's even harder because you could probably use him as a scout team wide receiver. You know, in some schools I've been a part of, if you get suspended, you go straight to the scout team and you're not involved in anything. And that's you kind of find what kind of character you're going to have with him. But I mean, that's the way Spencer wanted to handle it, and I support that 100%. I just don't. There's a fine line, right? Like, everybody just wants to talk about it. The great wide receivers and all that want the ball. I completely agree. The great ones want the ball. The great one wants to make the great play. But the great ones, the passionate ones like Chris, have to control that. And when you're not getting the ball, or you drop some balls and you're frustrated with yourself or something outside that realm, that can't blow up on coaches and your teammates, right? I mean, and so whatever happened. And I love the fact that you keep the discipline and you keep the culture. The culture is above one player.
Yep.
The culture is above one player. And it was addressed. Your assistant coaches have to address it in their meetings and go, hey, look, guys, we set the standard. The standard wasn't met. He's not playing. We're going to go beat Fresno. When he gets back in on Monday, hug him around the neck, and we're moving on. And that's all the way it has to. You don't have to harp on it. Just go, hey, it's over. Cool. Hey, whatever. If he has to apologize, whatever. I don't know. But hug him, and we're moving on. Hope he grows from it, and they'll welcome him back.
What is that like as a coach, though? How sensitive of a subject is it, I guess, when it is a guy that has had, I don't know what I don't want to say troubled past, but I mean, he's had some different stops at other places, had to go to junior college, has worked his way back. He was a changed man by all accounts, but I mean, you don't want to obviously lose this young man and have him check out for the rest of the season here. But as you said, you're not going to let something like that go and let the whole team see it and just say, oh, that's okay, because we need him to play. How do you weigh discipline, with a young man that has had some issues in the past with wanting to do what's right for the team and show him what the right way is, but also because Spencer, he gives as many second chances as anybody. But also, like you said, you got to weigh the pros and cons of the discipline with trying not to lose the kid for the rest of the season.
Well, I want to say this. He came to Boise State for a fresh start. And a lot of things travel with players, but not within that building. I mean, during the recruiting process and bringing him on, they talked about all those things with him. And they also, I would have thought, they said, hey, but when you walk through this door, this is a fresh start. And to be a Bronco, you have to be a part of this culture. Here's the culture. You're going to practice hard. You're going to work hard. You're going to beyond preparation, right? And then you're going to be an unbelievable teammate. That's the culture. And if you do not be a part of that culture, there's going to be a repercussion. So I also want to think that the past is the past. You try to forget it, but you're coming into a fresh start. So you can't just say when he gets in the building, go, oh, you know what? We knew this was going to happen. You're suspended. You don't. I mean, because you love the kid and you brought him in, and he hasn't made any huge mistakes or anything like that. He had a blow up. You got to handle the personality with the player, right? Well, it probably went overboard. Boom. You're done for the week. And we love you, like you said. I love Chris. I hope he grows from this, but he will not be a part of this. I 110% support that. The culture is more than one player.
So what does this do for some of the other guys getting an opportunity? I mean, Ben Ford's already out for the season, who had led the team with 5 touchdowns. I mean, you're down 2 of your 3 or 4 top receivers moving forward here. You're 17 points, favorites against Fresno. You're at home. Like, you should be able to beat Fresno this weekend. But certainly after the bye week, you got San Diego State sitting there who's 6-1 or whatever. And that's certainly going to be a huge game that decides a lot of things in terms of tiebreakers and home, for the championship game and keeping playoff hopes alive. And but I guess, in the immediate this week at practice and this game on Saturday, Quentin Brown, a true freshman, Cash Williams, a true freshman, play number 83, played a lot after Marshall went out in that second half. And then Cam Bates, a sophomore who has done some things in limited roles. It seems like those guys are going to get an opportunity. But what for guys that have been waiting for that opportunity, I guess this is their opportunity to take advantage of some, Chris has been averaging like 40 snaps a game. He's been one of their top snap guy of the season. So there's going to be a lot more opportunities available for some of these other guys to step up.
Yeah. I would hope somebody in that building or somebody in that wide receiver room said, finally, here we go. Just give me the ball. I want to think that for a young man, because you're playing wide receiver at Boise State. And if you're not there, if you're not competitive. So I would hope somebody said, finally, here we go. This is my shot. I'm going to go. I'm going to shine. I'm going to make the plays. I'm going to make the big one. I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to have great, protection of the ball, things like that. And it's my time. So now throw me the ball. I am going to keep, this is personal. I would say if I was watching, it's like, all right, I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity, and I'm going to earn my way to get more snaps and kind of take some away. That's where you want to happen. Now, I really hope they're not saying, oh my God, I got to play. I don't know if I'm prepared for this. Now you got more of an issue than Chris Marshall. But I would hope a young man is sitting in there saying, finally, here we go. I have worked my entire life for this moment, and I'm going to go shine. And I'm going to take the reps that I deserve in San Diego State after I just go and dominate versus Fresno. You hope that's what the young man's thinking. And whoever it is, I don't care. It doesn't matter. If I'm Caples, you know what? I got to get this much better versus Fresno State. The run game, they got to average more than 2.5 yards.
That's what BSU Bill's saying. The offense has already had issues generating explosive passing plays. Need the run game to be on point this week. Can't trust the wide receivers and quarterbacks to lead us this game.
Sure. And so you got Louder. I need to be this much better. Maddox, he's got to be better. So everybody's going to have to step up their game. But you don't have to go from here to here. It doesn't have to happen that way. Everybody's got to get this much better. And then all of a sudden now, whoever's going to take that opportunity gets this much better. You can be explosive. You can be explosive. And so it's going to – I have no doubt that Matt Miller's going to get them ready. I think you're going to see probably a few more different options play, instead of just one. But I would really hope that everybody gets this much better, and then the young man that's going to come in and dominate and make 2, 3, 4 big-time plays, that's this much better. Next thing you know, they're back throwing a 40 burger on the Bulldogs.
All right, we mentioned Maddox Madsen. He's been getting some, obviously, some talk and discussion and criticism. We heard he's banged up a little bit. I want to ask you about Maddox Madsen, and speaking of the quarterback position, Traden Bessinger decommitting. I want to get to both those topics here with Brad in a second. But RoePaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out, ROEPaint.com. All your painting needs, whether it's those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, make sure you hit up rowpaint.com. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union online, ICCU.com. Hey, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com, the website for the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Appreciate them. They've committed more than $400,000 in student-athlete scholarships for the men's and women's basketball teams at Boise State, endowed scholarships. So return the favor, folks. Next time you're looking for that delicious, quick meal, head on over to Taco Bell. And again, TacoBellWorks.com. Speaking of Latrell Caples, if he can get in the end zone on Saturday, you get a 49-cent fountain drink the Monday following the game using the Let's Go Rewards app. That's 49-cent fountain drink on the Monday after Latrell Caples scores a touchdown using that Let's Go Rewards app. And don't forget about their signature trading cards. 1 in 10 gets you an autograph. And there's $12.99 right now at the local Jackson's locations. You can download that or get that 99-cent coffee as well, day or night, if you download that Let's Go Rewards app. I mentioned the Blue and Orange Store. We appreciate them, the blueandorangestore.com. Down there at the Boise State Hall of Fame, you can order any player customized. You could get a Brad Bedell jersey if you want. What number were you back in the day, Brad?
76.
Okay, 76. So Ezra Cleveland must have wanted to be like Brad Bedell, I guess, when he went 76. But you can get a customized jersey, any number, any name at the Blue and Orange Store online at theblueandorangestore.com. Or again, that Boise State location right there at the Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. And we mentioned Latrell Caples, Lithia Ford of Boise. Never a better time to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle at Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. You can view their full inventory of vehicles. We appreciate Jim Sturk, Jamie Drake and company, the whole crew over there. Brad, I think they hooked you up back in the day with a vehicle from Lithia Ford, and I know Jim Sturk is good people, so we appreciate him. And hopefully folks will consider Lithia Ford for their next car or truck purchase. They're taking care of Jeremiah Dickey, Spencer Danielson. Some of your favorites are driving Lithia Ford vehicles, and you can as well, lithiafordboise.com. All right, Maddox Madsen. Spencer Danielson reiterated yesterday that he is banged up. He is, bruised up. He's got braces all over his body. He's gutting it out to try to play there. Obviously didn't have his best game of the season or of his career against Nevada. Missed some open throws. Had some wide open receivers that he just didn't see for whatever reason. They were rolling him out to the left a lot, which I thought was weird. It sounded like they were just trying to break some tendencies and put more things on tape for future games. But how do you, I know you never dealt, I guess, directly with this decision with a quarterback, but with an offensive lineman, if they're banged up and they're bruised and they're not at 100%, how do you weigh whether that person at 80% is still better than your backup, at 100%? And any thought to your 17-point favorites this week? You have the bye coming up. Let Maddox heal up and give your guy Max Cutforth the shot in this one.
Let me go. Last question first. No, you play Maddox. If he's ready to play, he's your starting quarterback. Right now, you get up by 21, you pull him. But I mean, if he's capable of playing, and you think that he is the best guy at that position to win the game, you play him. Period. He didn't play great versus Nevada. I'm not going to sit here and stick up for him, and I'm a huge fan of Maddox. I love the kid. But he didn't play well. And the other thing is so I'm going to say this in a nice way. You can't blame if you decide to play in the game, your performance is what you put on tape. It doesn't matter if you're banged up. You decide you thought you were good enough to play, so you can't say you're banged up now and, oh, well, he's banged up, he didn't play very well. No, he played. He's got to play better. And so I have every intention of him playing better. I mean, it's like he didn't play very good. Okay, the whole offense kind of sputtered everywhere, all over the field. They still won by 21. And I want to take this off the subject, but a sign actually of a strong-willed football program is when you're playing awful and you still win by 21, I'll take it, right? So he needs to play better. He's got to, he played. He's got to own the performance, okay? And then the second question is, I think he answered it really, is the starting offensive lineman better than what his backup is, right? Let's go back to 19 or whatever with Ezra Cleveland. Ezra didn't practice Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. No, he did 10 team plays on Wednesday. And then he walked through on Thursday, and he played Saturday because he had a foot deal. And we thought as a staff that an Ezra Cleveland is better than whatever else we had. No offense to everybody else, and I'm going to get a text message. It's fine. But we thought that was the best chance, and it was. Okay. But I think if you're going to play, you have to own the performance, and it wasn't his best performance. He knows that. But he needs to play well for this. We've shown this. He needs to play well and be a game manager with really good accuracy and things like that. That's what makes this offense go. Okay. Now in the game, he takes a shot, and he goes, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, maybe he's not ready. Maybe we need to pull him. That's a different situation. Way different situation.
Well, in terms of the practice time you're getting too, I mean, like you said, Ezra Cleveland was a guy that didn't need to practice all week and still knew what to do and was doing the walkthroughs and all that. We don't know how limited, we can see some of Tuesdays and Wednesdays practice. I wasn't able to get out there last week because I had basketball media days, but we don't know if Maddox is a full participant, if he's not practicing at all early in the week, if he's standing there on, I guess we don't know that either. I mean, and also like a quarterback position, you probably need to be out there a little more throughout the week than maybe your all Mountain West left tackle does.
Well, yeah, he does. No, I don't think you need to throw him all the time. I mean, he's been the starting quarterback forever. Yeah. What I think he needs to understand is see the live checks. They have that week, safety rotations, giveaways, depths of corners by coverage, things like that. It'd be nice to see.
But you're saying if he's going to play, you can't use that injury as an excuse for struggling.
You got to play. I mean, he played. Yeah. He's banged up. The kid's tough as nails. He's tough as nails. Yeah. But he played. And so he understands you play. You got to play to the standard that he set forth. And that wasn't the standard. He knows that. Spence, everybody saw him. He didn't have his best game. It's okay. I mean, not every game he's going to light it up, be 60, 70% completion percentage and things like that. I think it's just you saw that the offense needs to revolve around him in the run game, and that give Nevada credit. They took that away.
Well, especially down by the goal line. They had, I think, 9 plays, Brad, inside the 5, and 6 of them went for no gain. I mean, Sire Gaines had first and goal from like the 3, and they ran him 4 straight times, I think it was, and he couldn't even get in. Somebody's asking about the right tackle. How do you fix false starts? Maybe he had 1 penalty, but I don't think that's been an issue the last couple of weeks. They only had 2 penalties, I believe, in the whole game for the team. They've been improving from that standpoint, but in the run game, it does seem like the last week, at least against Nevada, I don't know if it's just a good defensive front for Nevada or what, but they were struggling to get a lot of push in the run game. And as you said, I mean, it's kind of common sense, but when the run game's struggling, that only makes it harder on the passing game.
How are they stopping the run, though? Is it stopping the run because they've got a loaded box? Now you've got some great coverage looks in cover 1 to dial them up. I mean, there's a lot of things to that. And, like I told you before, I watched some of that game. But I also... You
were like a lot of us wishing we were there. You were at the Kenny Chesney concert, man.
Eric Church.
Oh, it was Eric Church. Eric Church.
I partook in the Eric Church festivities, which was a lot of fun. But I was there on YouTube.
But I guarantee you half the people in this chat would have rather been at the Eric Church concert anyway.
Oh, yeah. Trust me.
It was a good show?
Yeah, it's fun. But I watched it. I had it on my phone and saw the goal line stuff, and they loaded the box, and it was man on man, and they penetrated, and that caused those issues. I mean, those are the things you got to look at.
Potter kept calling plays up the middle when it wasn't working, and he did say yesterday schematically he screwed something up, but he also mentioned just pad level and just you got to be able to find a way to get 1 yard sometimes, and they did struggle to do it.
How about overall will that I'm going to beat your ass and get the goal line? I mean, there has to be a mind. I've touched on this. There has to be a mindset. And when you put the ball in the 1, it's on the O-line, and you better smell blood and just end the game. That's the one thing that I wish they didn't. At 21, I mean, it's 21. They won by 21, and we're talking about a 21-point win.
Yep. And the spread was 21. They basically did what they were supposed to from that standpoint.
Right. But you didn't really see you had them on the ground and you were just about to finish them and go to a 28 to put a 40 burger on them, and it just didn't materialize that way. Now, I want to say this. If you thought Jeff Choate was not going to get this team ready to play Boise State in Nevada, you are completely smoking dope. That's just not, I mean, it's he wants to beat Boise so bad.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. And so I know everybody, I saw the stuff and like, oh, Nevada is a really tough place to play. The seats were empty and all that. That crowd wasn't going to be much of a factor. It's the Nevada players were so juiced, and I think they wanted to win that so bad for Coach Choate that it wasn't going to be a giant blowout. It just wasn't going to be that way. And he had them ready. And we're talking about a Nevada team he had ready that they still got stomped by 21.
Yeah, on the road, short week, conference play, and you won by 3 touchdowns. I didn't see this because I was on the field, but I guess there was another short handshake with Jeff Choate and Spencer Danielson after the game.
I don't get into that stuff because I don't know what's even said, but it's pretty funny. I mean, I want this. I think coaches should just go high five and walk off. Don't hug. Don't do anything. Just high five. Nice game. We beat your ass. Get off the field. Right? So when Boise just smokes Fresno on Saturday at whenever it ends at 4:00 or whatever, Spencer, high five and look at him and go, get off the blue, beat it.
So
we'll see you next year.
So everything we've said here is, it's kind of summing this part of the conversation up. Running game needs to get going, right, which will help the passing game this week. And are you at all, as I said, 17-point favorite? I mean, Fresno has won the last 2 meetings in this series. So Fresno holds the milk can right now. They won the last time the championship game was here on the blue. It sounds like Spencer, he brought that up a couple of times in the press conference yesterday. I mean, it sounds like that's going to be a rallying effort, or a motivational thing for his team this year. Hey, the last 2 times you've lost to Fresno, you've played them. They came in here and beat you in the championship game. They have the milk can. I know this is one of those series that is extending into the Pac-12 next year, like the last couple of weeks haven't. But with that said, this is a game that Boise State, has to win. They're at home. It's a sellout, and they're playing. They're big-time favorites. I mean, Fresno State just got shut out 23-0 to San Diego State last week. So, are you at all concerned about this kind of game, or do you see this being a blowout for Boise State?
I can see this as being a blowout for Boise State. This is a little bit got UNLV kind of written all over it.
Yeah.
Because if you really look at the Fighting Bulldogs, Kansas is 500, right? Georgia Southern's got a losing record. Oregon State's got a losing record. Southern University, they're not good. Hawaii, that's a team. Nevada, losing record. Colorado State, shocking, losing record, and without a head football coach. And then San Diego State, 23-0. That, if you look at the San Diego State score, San Diego State's been just rallying points. They only put 23 on Fresno. So I'm kind of interested to see. I didn't watch that game.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
Saying Fresno State's defense to hold them to 23 could be an interesting matchup against Boise State's offense, which just scored 24 against Nevada.
Correct. Interesting. So Fresno hasn't had the toughest schedule known to man. And so now now I will say this, you brought up a great point. If you really look at the Mountain West Conference, Fresno is the only school that's kind of not scared to play on the blue. Everybody else, they get into the records and they all just kind of, the players, I don't know if they doubt themselves. I'm very intrigued to get around. The media days, I would love to get around the players and ask, like, what is it about the blue? What are the coaches harping on? Because if the coaches say, they never lose in the blue, this is ridiculous. We're going to go beat them. They never lose in the blue. If you harp on it enough, the players are going to be like, then why do you expect we're going to win in the blue? Fresno doesn't care.
And I know it's none of the same coaches, none of the same players, whatever. But I mean, you were part of, what year was that where they came? Were you part of the staff when in the snow there and whatever year that was?
Overtime option, like still miraculously get blamed for the blocked field goal, which is fine. I'll eat it. It's my fault.
Rid obviously got blamed for that too.
Yep. So, yeah, they beat us. Overtime, Alexander rushed for, 220?
Yeah.
And they beat us. They beat us for the conference title.
And Spencer's going to be showing clips of that or whatever. Like, hey, they came into our place and held up the championship trophy on our field, even though that was, 5-6 years ago. College coaches, they're going to find anything they can. And
anything they can. But the other thing is I think Spencer does a great job. Look at after what press conference was it when you can tell he takes playing on this blue and the tradition on the blue so seriously.
Oh yeah.
And which is awesome. And
he hasn't lost. I don't think he's lost on the blue since he took over.
No.
That was one of Avalos's demise. I mean, they lost 3 in a row at one point on the blue when he was here. I mean, they've gotten back to protecting the blue under Spencer. I don't think, unless I'm forgetting one, that he's lost as head coach on the blue.
Yeah, I can't think of one. But I think that, I think Fresno kind of walks in here and, I think they know what they're doing. But you brought up a good point. It's just another staff that's never. I don't think he's coached on the blue. I don't know. I didn't look at their staff. I should probably have done that. But he was at SC as a linebackers coach or something like that, and then so it's going to be.
Well, he was at North Dakota State or whatever before that. Yeah.
So that didn't happen. And so, but some of the players, they still have some of the players that have been on the blue, so they'll have an understanding. And
well. I was going to ask you from the other side, what do you make of Malik Sherrod? Played 4 years at Fresno, now transfers over to Boise State, is playing his old team. I actually thought he ran the ball pretty well. He had a couple nice runs in the game against Nevada. What do you make of, what's that like for – now it's becoming more and more common. Jaden Mickey didn't get a chance to play, but was going up against Notre Dame. But 4 years at Fresno, literally scored and a kick return against Boise State with Fresno, and now he's on the blue playing for Fresno or playing for Boise State against Fresno. Do you think that a kid like that will be pretty fired up to try to have a big game?
Yeah, left for a reason, didn't he? And the other thing is he can bring no scheme. He can't talk to the coach about scheme because it's new staff, right?
Okay.
But yeah. I would absolutely, if I was him, or if I was actually in that position as a coach in the staff, especially as an offensive guy, I would be like, hey, I want to go down and I want to talk about all the players. And some of those are going to be new because they got him in the portal and he won't know anything about them. But I want to know, I want to know who's the softest guy. Who do you think is the softest player here? Oh, that kid. Okay. And then I'm going to walk into the O-line and I go, see this kid? I want his will destroyed. That's the weak point. That's the fish. We're going to attack him. And then once he's done, we'll attack everybody else. And I think, that's where you can use him. And then I think he is going to take this game very personal. And so he has to stay with himself. He can't do too much. He can't keep his feet driving in a punt return. All of a sudden they poke the ball out, right? So he's got to manage that type of thing. But I think it's going to be an emotional game for him, and I think he plays well.
Well, that'll be 1:30 on Saturday, another afternoon game on Saturday. Speaking of quarterbacks, I did want to bring up a trade and messenger here in a second. Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game, thespateam.com. If you're looking for a pool table, sauna, all that good stuff, they got you covered. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa, been around since 1978. Thespateam.com. Hey, Matt Boucher is going to join us Monday. Believe it or not, the first regular season basketball game is Monday. Basketball season is here, and Matt Boucher is going to be a regular contributor, former Boise State basketball player here on BNN. Boucher Real Estate, number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. It's Matt Boucher, Boucher Real Estate. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Ridley's Family Markets. Love going down those various locations around town. The Cuno location, we appreciate them for their support. Find one near you at shopridleys.com. Hey, if you're looking for a new career, fresh start, how about transportation compliance service? Jump on into the trucking industry, transcompservice.com. the trucking industry is booming right now, and they can help you out. Local company helping out folks all over the world. Transportation, compliance service, DOT, overweight, all the permits and things you need online. transcomservice.com. And hey, Signature Roofing, we gave away that Shields gift card yesterday. Appreciate everybody. Congratulations to Gavin Beck, our winner. Speakpipe.com/BNN. You can leave us a voicemail anytime, day or night. And even though we're not giving away right now a Shields gift card, we'd still love to get some voicemails in here and get some thoughts on the team heading into the Fresno State game. Can play some on the post-game show as well. Speakpipe.com/BNN. And again, brought to you by Signature Roofing. MySignatureRoofing.com, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, they have you covered online. MySignatureRoofing.com. All right, Brad, for the fourth time in the last 5, Boise State has received a commit for a quarterback and then seen the quarterback transfer somewhere else. Spencer Danielson, as you know, cannot get specific on this, but I asked him yesterday just generally about losing so many quarterbacks to decommitments. The soundbite was kind of too long to play on the show here. Folks can go back and watch it on our YouTube channel. We've got the whole interview with Spencer posted. But, committed to Boise State, took an official visit to Iowa, and then comes home and decommits, the next day. I did ask Spencer about that as well. He's not a big fan of being committed and then taking visits. Chris Peterson for a while, Brad, maybe some other coaches that would do this. If you were committed, you were not allowed to take other visits. If you took a visit, your scholarship was pulled. Boise State doesn't necessarily have that strict of rules yet, but the way Spencer was talking, who knows what might happen, because he was pretty frustrated and said he doesn't like guys taking official visits. He said, hey, if you're committed, he said, he used me as an example. He said, if you're committed, BJ, we're not going to recruit another guy at your position because we believe you're committed. And then when they go ahead and leave, that just causes problems. Some schools, I guess, keep recruiting other players in case you leave, whatever. They don't like to do that at Boise State. But I know the quarterback position's, tough, Brad, for a school like Boise State. But, and nothing against Maddox Madsen, but, folks want to, try to bring in some high-level competition next year, whether it's in the portal or whatever, to kind of compete with him and have some competition. But they're having trouble doing that because these quarterbacks keep leaving. And they've had guys go to Michigan State and go to Oregon and go to Georgia. And now you've got UCLA and BYU and Iowa offers here for trade and messenger. So Boise State gets on these guys early, and I'm sure I don't know if it was the same with linemen or not, or you were here obviously when they were recruiting quarterbacks. But Boise State, has kind of got a history and a tradition of recruiting kind of the right guys. And Spencer even said that. We basically do a lot of homework for guys. And when we get a commitment from somebody, people are like, oh, he must be legit. And they, we know Boise State does their homework on guys. And then other schools come in and the money and the allure of the Power Four and all that steals some of these guys away. What can Boise State do? What can Spencer Danielson do to try to stop this from happening, particularly at the quarterback position? Because as I said, this is the third, I think, in this class, Brad, in the same class. They've now lost 3 quarterback commits. It's pretty frustrating for the coaching staff, and I'm just really not sure how you change it.
How you change it?
Yeah, how do you, until signing day happens, it's just going to you get a guy and then a bigger school is going to come in and just, it's already happened 3 times literally in the last year in this class. I don't know how you prevent this from happening in the future.
Here's the easiest answer. Somebody listening to us right now, go donate $10 million and pay the kid his going rate. Sadly, that's, guys, this is what we're talking about. And I don't know the young man. I don't know what he has on the table. But I would tell you right now, if you're going to the Big Ten to compete with everybody else, $750,000 to over $1 million. This isn't the old way of looking at things. You have to evolve in this. And this is the thing about Boise. And you guys, you with the 247 and all that. What's fascinating is if you really look at this, take a young man that's getting recruited by Boise State. Okay. They just don't go in and start throwing offers out there like a helicopter with a pamphlet. You have a scholarship. You have a scholarship. You have a scholarship, like everybody else does. You do the homework. And so they know when a young man gets offered by Boise State, the homework has been done. Look at the amount of kids that when they get the Boise offer, how many offers follow. I used to say it all the time when I was coaching. Okay, now I'm going to offer you a full ride. And after this offer comes out and you post it, because everybody's going to post it, and you have to be 100% behind that player posting it. You can't sit, there's a time or two where we said, hey, can you hold posting this? But when you post it, it's out there. And now I used to tell the kids, hey, you are going to get at least 7 more offers coming off of just this offer. But you have to realize who did the homework. Who knows how you're going to fit in this culture. This is the plan for you as the player at Boise State and how we're going to get you better on the field with a degree and the culture that's going to set you further ahead than you ever coming out of college you ever wanted to be. Those are all things that are already put in place. The hardest thing about quarterbacks right now is money. And that's where you have to think about this. I don't know if the young man's gotten $1 million offer, but I know for a fact there's some kids that have gotten offers from Boise State. Okay, and I will never see a name. There's a couple of kids at 2 schools right now that have over $1 million in NIL sitting there, and they will not be coming to Boise State. And I mean, Boise State knows that. It's just the way it is.
Now, Spencer did say last year, Brad, he basically, before this kind of rev sharing thing went through, he said that they would not promise any money to freshmen. Like, if you come here and do it, you'll earn your money. But we want kids that want to be here. We want the right kind of kids. Is that philosophy going to have to change a little bit? And I don't know what the rev share, how that plays into it, how much those guys can, the school can now officially, offer these guys as commits or tell them what's coming. But in terms of straight NIL money, it went national news or whatever, because Spencer's like, I'm not promising a penny to a freshman. They can come in and earn it. I'm not saying they can't make it, but I'm not going to tell them you come here and you sign with us and you're getting $500K. That's obviously happening elsewhere and could be part of this.
Yeah, the revenue sharing, the NCAA, my numbers are probably a little off. It's I think it's $22.3 million, $22.9 million.
That's the max you can give out, but schools like Boise State are giving out, 3 or 4 or 5 million.
In the athletic department, right?
Yeah.
So you have to realize, and I don't know, this is Mr. Dickey's, this is his realm. I don't know what the revenue sharing, I don't know any of that, so I'm not even gonna get into it. But the issue is if you got the big boys, the Iowas, BYU is throwing all kinds of money out. The major conferences, you're muted. The major conferences, okay, they're gonna share all 22.9 million.
Yep.
They're going to share every dime of that. If you're not sharing every dime of that, you're going to lose. And that's a position that you have to recruit deep. Now, they got a young man committed. I mean, they do have a quarterback committed. In the
Jackson Taylor, yeah, but just because they're so low on quarterbacks, they want to take 2 in this class, yeah.
Correct. So, the other thing is everybody that said, I got to choose my words wisely because I don't want to put a cat out of the bag. Every fan that said Boise State coaching staff did not recruit a portal quarterback or another quarterback to compete with Maddox, you do not know what you're talking about. And I'll just leave it at that. This staff knew exactly what they were doing. The problem is they got them. They were hot in the heels on some kids. More money somewhere else, gone. Remember, if you look at how many wide receivers did they bring in on recruiting trips before they got the wide receivers coming in before this last class? Because they had to go deep in wide receiver. Trip, $500,000 somewhere else. And $500,000 somewhere else.
And with the quarterback position, you're talking about a guy that led his team to the playoff last year. You weren't going to be able to get, especially on the transfer side, someone that really wanted to come in and be the backup to him unless you were going to overpay to get them. And I'm not sure that's necessarily the kind of guy you wanted if a guy just wants the money and doesn't care if he plays or not.
Right. But also, I agree with you there. But let's go back to the whole revenue sharing, because this is where it takes place. The revenue sharing at Boise State can go to freshmen. There's not, you know what I mean? That's where the difference is of everything else.
I need to check on that because I need to find out. Originally, Spencer said they're not going to promise any money to freshmen, and that was more NIL. But now with the rev sharing and Cody Gogler and what they're doing with Bronco Pro and all that, I do wonder if that changes things in terms of what they can offer. But either way, you're not offering, let's look at the hierarchy of this team here. You're not offering a freshman quarterback to come in more money than you're paying Jaden Virgin Morgan or Cage Casey or some of the guys currently on the team.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So you're telling me you're going to put your fourth in a freshman high school quarterback who's never taken a snap in college football. You're going to pay him $1.5 million in a new Mercedes. and he
Schools are.
he's not very good. UCLA's quarterback, they paid him out the butt. Now he's just starting to come on because they made a coaching change, and that's where we're at right now. You do the homework, and all of a sudden, if somebody comes in, and the other thing is this, and this is what really gets into my crawl. You want to get in recruiting is this: there are coaches right now that are promising money they cannot deliver, and I know it for a fact. So they're telling young men like, hey, we're going to take care of you, $750,000. There's been kids go to the portal because an SEC program has promised everything underneath the sun and then couldn't deliver. So now you got these young gung-ho coaches that think they're epic recruiters. They're just promising money. They can't deliver. And so that's where the young men, they need to sit back and not look at all the money and go, okay, perfect. What are you guaranteeing me? Because you can't guarantee me $750,000. We're going to guarantee it $25,000.
Well, you saw the UCLA quarterback last year left in the middle of the season because he said they told him they'd pay him and they didn't.
Correct. And so that's where the BS in this recruiting thing is not right. And so to go back, I don't think you should promise freshmen everything underneath the sun. I don't, because you're just going to get the kid that's going to want to renegotiate after he plays as a true freshman, right? This is where if you want to change everything, let them unionize, go to a collective bargaining agreement and say, you know what? You can't transfer after 2 years. As a freshman, you can't make over $50,000. And then we go back to dropping the bags and the cheaters are going to cheat. That's fine. They cheat before, they're going to cheat again. Who gives a rat's ass? Let them cheat. But at least it's going to play it down. And so Boise fans can't get all upset when kids are going to decommit, because that's the way of the game right now, because there's money getting thrown out, and we're only sitting here in November. Who knows what's going to happen in December? Because every team, Oklahoma loses a guy to Georgia. Oklahoma's going to go back and go, okay, who are the most successful developmental schools? Boise State. What do they have committed? Well, let's look at him. Let's look at him. No. Ooh, yes.
And a lot of that happens the night before signing day or whatever, right?
Correct. And they haven't done shit. Sorry. They haven't done a darn thing. They haven't talked to the kid. They haven't built a relationship with the kid. They haven't done anything. That's the kid was going to leave you anyway, so let him go. I remember when I was a young coach and I recruited a bunch of kids and I lost a few. And Bob Biggs, I was sitting in my office and Bob Biggs goes, hey, Brad, you have to worry about the ones you got, not the ones you lost. Because the ones you got are the ones that you put your name on. And you got to develop them rather than complain about how you just lost a kid to Fresno. Because at UC Davis, I was losing to Fresno, Boise State, things like that. And it's just a way of the world. Now, if you want to introduce money to it, trust me, I was at a place that we'd spend some money. And we went in promising a lot of money, but we were going to guarantee that money. And it's just not, this is the way of the land right now.
I know you know Zach Hill pretty well. I mean, a lot of people are wondering, he's dealing with some recruiting violations right now from Arizona State where he can't go off campus to recruit right now. I know they've had, I think Justin Udi, the assistant quarterbacks coach, went out with Spencer to see both these commits during the bye week. But I know you're not, in tune 100% with all the rules and all that kind of stuff. But would the quarterbacks coach not being able to go off campus to recruit right now? Could you see that? Is that at all a factor in all this? Why they're losing guys or
no? Not at all. It's not.
Okay.
Not at all. It's not. That's not. I don't think, because I think they're very. One thing about this staff is they're very upfront and honest, and I think they tell everybody Zach Hill's situation, and this is the way your recruitment's going to be abnormal until whatever the NCAA rules is with Zach, but they're going to be very upfront with that and things like that. So, I don't think that has anything to do. I think Boise State recruited the right kid, did everything right. He went on a trip to Iowa, opened up his eyes. Now he's going to go to BYU. I just saw that he's scheduled an official to BYU.
UCLA
I don't know the background of the young man either. I don't know. You have to see, is he a Mormon? Is he a part of the Mormon religion? I don't know those intricacies about him because I just know what's on paper. I've never talked to these young men.
Yeah.
But you got to look at everything. Like when you're recruiting, you gotta turn every stone about everything of where did Uncle play college football at? He played at this place. Okay, if that place offers, I better go talk to that uncle and sell Boise State to the uncle. So when his alma mater offers, that he's not just saying, screw Boise, we're going to go here, right? That's where I play. Don't you want to go where I played?
Yeah.
It's just there's a science to this thing.
Well, we're at an hour, and I know you got to get rolling here, but maybe we can save this for the pregame show, Brad. Somebody wanted your opinion on Brian Kelly. Maybe the pregame show on Saturday, we can get into kind of the coaching carousel, and you obviously, been a part of that. You were on a staff that got the call that you guys were being let go in the middle of a season. There's a lot to that, and there's a lot of openings right now, and how that trickles down to other coaches and Group of Five. I mean, that's certainly a big storyline as well. So maybe we save the coaching carousel, Brian Kelly discussion, and all these other coaches for the pregame show.
Yeah. Hey, just didn't work. I was a part of a staff that just didn't work. And Brian Kelly's a dick. From what
I had
I've
a feeling that answer was going to be something like that.
From what I've heard.
I have read a lot of not so flattering stuff about him in the last couple of days.
More money, more pressure, and understand that you're the head football coach at LSU. And 10 wins, 9 wins, and then 5. It's not. And when you're talking to the governor to figure out.
Well, they don't have a president right now, so they had to somehow.
The governor. You think, hey, Governor Little, can you get on the phone with us to figure out this buyout? No, you guys figure it out. No money's coming out of the federal budget for education. So the story now is you need one booster. In those places, one booster can pony up about $30 million and go, I don't like the guy. Here's $30 million. But you better not make a mistake on the next guy or you're fired now. It's just it's wild.
Let's get into that a little more. Let's get into that a little more on the pregame show. Maybe 1:30 games. I guess we'll be live around 11 a.m. again on Saturday with Brad and Coach Rid and the whole crew getting you set for Fresno State and Boise State. Brad, appreciate your time. Glad we could switch days and make it work on a Tuesday. And we'll talk to you on the pregame show on Saturday.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
By the way, no Riley and Rid tonight. There's a scheduling conflict. Coach Rid's got some stuff going on. We're looking to reschedule for tomorrow, so no Riley and Rid tonight. Tentatively, tomorrow night. We'll get you some details on that, but don't show up at the James. Well, you can go to the James tonight, have a nice meal, have some drinks. World Series is on, but no show tonight for Riley and Rid. That will be on Wednesday, hopefully tomorrow, but we'll get you more details on that. Chad says he always loves Brad's, quote, coffee cup.
This has been sitting on this desk for a better part of 4 days.
Oh, great stuff on Chris Marshall earlier in the show. Great stuff on this offense, on the transfer portal, all kinds of good stuff getting you set for Fresno State and on Saturday. So go back and watch part of the show if you missed it. Go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. $7 right now is our monthly offer. Hopefully you'll take advantage of that, BroncoNationNews.com. And we will talk to you guys later. We got a lot of basketball coverage coming later this week, some other sports talking as well. Soccer has clinched the conference championship. So we'll talk to you guys later. Appreciate it. We'll see you in the message boards. We'll see you online, Bronco Nation News. We know Brad Bedell loves the message boards. He'll see you there as well. Oh, that was Coach Rid, I guess, that loves the message boards as well. Bronco Nation News online, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.